This is the explanation for the incredible prophecy. Let's think about this for a second. Like a lot of these mentalism tricks, key cards are very important. This is quite clever actually, because if you remember from the write-up, what you're doing is you're getting them to cut some cards from the centre, and you sort of say, well, this makes it much more difficult for me to guess how many you're cutting to. If you cut them normally, you know, I might be able, it's all crap. You're just saying, I want you to cut from the centre. That's so they don't disturb top card. So when they cut, and then they secretly count that number. So that's the procedure there. That is a random number, but this is how the trick works. You need to know the top card, which will be the force card. I'm going to use the 4 of hearts because I've written down a prediction, and that's what makes this little routine so effective. Is that you've written a prediction before the trick starts, and you even flash it. I hold my fingers but over the written card. I just say, listen, I've written a prediction here. I'm just wondering about this, and we'll get back to this at the end of this routine. And then you say it's very important that when you cut cards, it's a random cut. So all you need to know is the top card is the 4 of hearts. Now again, for the more advanced guys, you can do some false cuts. Okay, you can do some false cuts. It doesn't matter. False shuffles. It does not matter. You've just got to keep that 4 of hearts on the top, which even for beginners you could just do a overhand shuffle face up and then back on top, keeps the card there. So the 4 of hearts is on top. Alternatively, you could do a little sort of pencil dot or pen dot in the corners. Let them shuffle and then just say, are they shuffled? Look for your pencil dot and then cut it to the top. It's another way of doing it. Then that way you can give them the cards to shuffle. Or you could palm it out again, for the more advanced people, just palm it out, let them shuffle, and then you add it to the pack, and then there's the 4 on the top again. Whatever, doesn't matter. 4 is on the top. So think about what you ask them to do. You ask them to cut a portion from, you sort of demonstrate this, from the centre. It can be a tiny amount, or it can be a decent block, no more than half, and you ask them to secretly cut from the deck and to leave that deck, which they do. Now, okay, you ask them to count these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your back's 10, you don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay? So they're thinking of 18. They've got 18 cards. This is what you do. So they've counted 18 cards, which you don't know about. You've got your key card here. You pick these up. Now, you're just going to cut those over there. Okay? Then you're going to ask them to put them on there. This is the 18 cards. So you've cut that over there. Okay? You ask them to put the 18 cards on here, and you're going to put these on here, but you keep a little break. So what you're doing is you're keeping a break above the force card plus the 18 cards on top. Does that make sense? I'll just do that again for you. Okay, there's my force card. They've counted the 18 cards. I've cut over half the pile here. They put the 18 cards on. I don't know how many. Then we put the rest of this pile on here, but keep a break. Okay? And all you're going to do is cut to the break. And all that does is bring the setup back to the top. Now you can just do a single cut to the break if you want. It might be more effective to maybe do it in two stages, but you're cutting to the break, okay? And that's it, because basically now your force card, okay, is one more than the number of cards that they cut. Does that make sense? Because they've got, you know, there's 18 cards. The next card is the force card, so it's the 19th card. Now at this stage you still don't know what the number is. Okay, you know what the force card is. So what you do, it's very simple. You take the cards, just slide one to the bottom, because you've got to get rid of one card from the top. Simple. You don't have to be fancy about it, just casually slide one card to the bottom. That puts your force card at the 18th position. Okay? So now, you tell your spectator, you can add some more false cuts and shuffles if you want, you know, to make it look really random. And you say to your spectator, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to try and do. I am going to deal 20 cards. I'll do 25 cards. And I want you to think of the card at your position. How beautiful is that? They've got to think of the four of hearts, because you set it up in such a way that the cards they cut, the number of cards they cut, has gone on top of the force card. Okay? So they've got to. So you go through 25, you ask them not to react. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Look, 18 is the four of hearts. You keep on going. But now, because you're counting, so you now know the number is 18, which you don't know until that point, and of course you already know the card. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Are you thinking of a card? Yes, you know they're thinking of the four of hearts. This is where this becomes quite clever. I didn't show you, I did say at the beginning that I had a prediction. I'll tell you what it reads. I predict that my spectator will cut to 15 cards and will think of the four of hearts. Now, if you look at that sheet there, a quick look, the four of hearts at the bottom is in very large writing. That's what you want them to see more than anything else. You know, remember, they're only thinking of that card, so that's pretty impressive. So what do? You miscall the number. You pick it up and you say, listen, I had a prediction here before we started. Now remember, you now know his number is 18. So you say, and you read it out exactly as, and where you've written 15, you simply say 18. I predict, and remember, they've got no idea that you know this information. I predict that my spectator will cut to 18 cards and will think of the four of hearts. Well, that's a mind blow. Think about it. You just miscall on the number 15. You could leave just a blank space there and just don't write any number, but I like to put a number in there because sometimes, once in a while, they will cut to 15, and if they cut to 15, it's great. You can just ask them to read it out instead. That's a real miracle, because you don't have to miscall. So you write 15 in for that odd occasion that they cut 15 cards. That's it. There's an awful lot in that trick for quite a simple premise, really, because if you think about it, it's just one key card. The key card being on the top, and in our case it was the four of hearts. Yeah, they cut from the middle, they count them cards, you cut them over, keep the key card here, those cards go on there, and then they come on there, but then you keep a break. Then you cut to the break. Okay, more advanced guys out there might do a double undercut and something like this. I don't want to get into that right now. Point is, you're still cutting the setup to the top, and then you can do any sort of false scuffle or cut, and your force card will be one more than the card cut, the number of cards that they cut to. So that's just a matter of slipping one to the bottom and going into your thing and dealing out and asking them to think of the card that turns up on their number. Great trick. Hope you enjoy it.